Today we're playing some Modern, but with only 1-drops, and our main win condition is Thud. So here is our all 1-drop Thud deck for Modern, and the idea of this deck is pretty hilarious. So we're built around Cacophony, Scamp, and Fireblade Charger, these red 1-drops. They each have an ability that when they die, they deal damage to any target equal to their power. Scamp is actually the better of the two, because if it deals combat damage, we get to sacrifice it to trigger its ability. But the goal of our deck is simple. We're hoping to have at least one of these in our opening hand, and then our goal is to grow their power as quickly as possible. So to win the game, if we get up to 10 power with one of these creatures, we should be able to win. We can often win with like 7, sometimes 6 if we're a little lucky. So to grow the power of these cards, we got Ignoble Hierarch and Noble Hierarch, which grow their power with Exalted triggers and also just let us dump our hand really quick with extra mana. We have Audacity and Rancor, which are really key to this deck because not only do they give our creatures +2/+0, but they also give Trample. And our most explosive draws do involve attacking with our Scamp or our Fireblade Charger and actually being able to get through some combat damage. And then we have our big finisher. Scale Up just turns either of these creatures into a 6-power creature. Vines of the Vastwood, if we can kick it, gives +4/+4. So something like turn 1 Fireblade Charger, turn 2 whatever, turn 3 Scale Up plus Vines, gets our Fireblade Charger up to 10 power, and then Reckless Charge, +3/+0, and also Haste. So it gives us a way to win by surprise if we have an empty battlefield. So let's say we achieve our goal of growing these creatures, giving them trample. How do we actually win the game? Well, our big payoff is Thud. So Thud is just a 1-mana flick. We get to sack a creature, and Thud deals damage equal to the creature's power to any target. So we're hoping to like play our Cacophony Scamp, grow its power with Rancors and Scale Ups and our Hierarchs, and then maybe we get in a hit for some combat damage, and then we just Thud the Cacophony Scamp. And the trick here is, with the Cacophony Scamp or the Fireblade Charger, Thud's damage is essentially doubled because we get damage from the creature equal to its power, and then we get damage from the Thud equal to the creature's power. So if we have a 10-power creature, either the Fireblade Charger or the Scamp, a Thud's just straight up lethal. We get 10 damage from the Scamp, 10 more from the Thud, and then if we get in some combat damage with like our Rancor plan or our Scale Up plan, we can win with an even smaller Scamp or Fireblade Charger. So that's the goal of the deck. Grow these 1-drops as quickly as possible, get in some combat damage, Thud them at our opponent's face to close out the game with a combo kill, and with our best draws, we can do this like turn 3. I think it's like theoretically possible to win on turn 2. On turn 2, it takes kind of a lot. We need to like have the Scamp, and then we need to Scale Up the Scamp, and we need our opponent to like take some damage from fetches and shocks and get in a full combat damage hit for 6, and then we're able to Thud it for another 12, so that's 18 minus shockland damage, it would be 20. But really it's like a turn 3 combo deck most of the time. Otherwise, we got Ragavan because it's the most busted 1-drop in our colors. Mana base is actually the one part of the deck I don't like, so we have some fetches, some fast lands, some shocks, that's fine. We also have a very cute package of utility lands, which are a little bit sketchy. One of the issues I notice with this deck is sometimes we're a little pinched on red mana, and that's because we're playing like Colony Gardens and Hash Up Oasises and Pendulavens and Besejus and Basic Forests. So I think the deck maybe would be better like without the Colony Garden and with another fetch land or two, but it's functional enough. As far as the sideboard, since we're playing only 1-drops, we get Abash as our companion for free. We get a bunch of protection for our creatures, some Blood Moons, a Domri to fight through counter spells, and that is Thud for Modern. That's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see if we can pick up some wins, maybe on turn 3 by thudding a Cacophony Scamp or Fireblade Charger at our opponent. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. It is Thud time, hopefully. Seeing if we can pull off this super janky all 1-drop combo kill in Modern. Well, we got a bunch of Ignoble Hierarchs. Please don't Fury us, or Solitude us, or Lightning Bolt us, or Leyline Binding us, or Wandering us. Just don't, Orcish Bowmasters. Don't play any of the good cards, opponent. I mean, we have a bunch of Exalted triggers. We have a Rancor. We don't have one of our Fling style creatures or a Thud. We'll see. Opponent passes. Well, we will continue to Hierarch. Play a Hierarch. Play another Hierarch. Chipping for big ol' 3. Opponent down to 17. Is it possible to win with just Hierarchs? New challenge. What if you only play Noble Hierarchs and Ignoble Hierarchs? Can you win? Please don't Wrath us, opponent. Please don't Bowmaster us. None of those things. Well, there's a Fireblade Charger. Play a Hierarch. Get a few Exalted triggers. No Bowmaster, please. Opponent has a Bowmaster. You know what this hand could really use is a Thud. A Thud would be super helpful here. Well, we will play a Fireblade Charger. Yeah, let's just pass. Thud would be so good. A Thud might be game winning. Maybe. Urza's Saga. Opponent. Oh, jeez. Wrench Mind. Okay, so there goes our hand. That's unfortunate. We had plans for those cards. Passes. We draw a Scale Up. We don't have Trample, though, which is an issue. Well, go to combat. Get in with the Fireblade Charger. I don't think we want to pump with Pendelhaven. We need that to protect from another Bowmaster. Not dead after all, the Bowmaster. Okay. Life keeps getting worse. Opponent shoots down a Hierarch. Our whole deck ties to Bowmaster, doesn't it? I mean, the combo kill is so explosive, but boy, Bowmaster seems like a blowout. I mean, the Wrench Mind also hurt. If it wasn't for that Wrench Mind, we could have rankered and scaled up and we would have actually been like in pretty... You stop killing our things. My God. Will you just chill? Opponent has literally no chill. Opponent gets in, hits us. Down to 16, we draw. Sheoldred's Edict to get rid of our Hierarch. Yeah, we're in some rough shape here. I mean, there's no more protecting here, right? So we're going to pump the Fireblade Charger, ranker the Fireblade Charger, boom, get in for 4. If our opponent has another Bowmaster, we're pretty much out of luck, or any other removal. The Pendelhaven can, like, kind of protect, but Liliana. Unclear how we can get back in the game at this point. Opponent gets in, hits us. I mean, the deck has the potential for very fast combo kills. What do we even do here? Does it even matter what we do here? I guess we kill the Liliana. Unclear how we can win this game. We're facing down a lot of power. Well, we can play a Scamp. I think we need to stay alive to find a Thud, basically. There's a world where we, like, find the Thud. The Thud lets us combo kill with the Scamp. I mean, we get to kill this, right? Is there a way we're getting blown out here? Pump. All right, kill the Mass Army. Take 2 to the racks. Thud, Thud, Thud. We need a Thud. Ranker. Pump. And ranker. Opponent. Another one! And that's gonna kill our Scamp, isn't it? Oh, too many Bowmasters. Too many Bowmasters. Gonna kill the Scamp. Well, I guess we kill the Bowmaster again. Drop to 7. Pass the turn. Opponent going to Grief. These rankers were helping keep us out of rack range. Grief pitching, Shrieking Affliction, yeah. We untap. We drop to 4. We play the Dryad Arbor. So we're going to 2. So we either need to draw Thud so we can win. Opponent passes. We need to draw the Thud. Does Thud even win here? Not really. Oasis. All right, we will pass the turn. So we're not quite fully dead yet. Now a Thud actually is lethal. If we can find it. Opponent fires up the Factory. This only puts us to 1 though, right? Because we get to block. I mean, if they have discard, then I guess we're dead. This Pendelhaven's doing work. Kill it. Drop to 1. Opponent passes. Thud. Thud. We need a Thud. We need a Thud. Fireblade Charger. Are we seriously 1 point off of winning here? I think we're 1 point off. The question is, do we play the Fireblade Charger? If we play the Fireblade Charger, we lose to discard. If we don't, we lose to removal. We lose to Bowmasters no matter what. Yeah, I think we just pass. If it was the one that could sack itself, we would definitely run it out. Fireblade Charger cannot sack itself. Opponent combat. No attacks. We take 0. Well, play Fireblade Charger. Pass the turn. Oh, this game! Opponent. The problem is they're going to top deck Bowmaster eventually, and then we just die. Or another Wrench Mind. Those two get us. Passes. We can scale up. I mean, if they had removal, we'd already be dead, right? Is that 10 again? Oh, we can pump first. I mean, we got to go for it, right? There's no not going for it. Oh, we're at 1 though. Does that matter? Yes, that does matter because we can't use this for mana. So we can't Pendelhaven and cast our hand because we can't use this for mana or we die. The desert of all things. But we don't have a way to kill it. So our opponent can just go to 1. Wait, But we have the Dryad Arbor. No, but we need to tap the Dryad Arbor. All right, Den of the Bugbear. I guess we just have to wait again past the turn. Come on. No top decking, please. No top decking. Pithing Needle. Okay. I assume is going to name Den of the Bugbear. I guess I could name Pendlehaven. We are like so ridiculously close. All right, name's Pendlehaven. Opponent. Thud. Audacity. I mean, this is the same thing, right? Well, I think wow, this is so scary. Den of the Bugbear. Go to combat. Get in with Den of the Bugbear. Opponent has Fatal Push. We will pass the turn. Opponent untaps. This game. It's supposed to be way easier. Inquisition. I mean, if they have another discard spell, we actually die to the racks if they have 2. And passes. All right, we take 0. We draw Vines of the Vastwood. Our lack of green mana is a problem. If we play Audacity this turn, the problem is we just lose to a discard spell. Here's the thing. If we just run out all of our trample effects, our opponent just chooses not to block. But if we don't do anything, we're giving our opponent so much time to find an answer. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just have to pass. This is like the weirdest scenario here. This does put our opponent lower on life. They're down to 9. They take the Vines of the Vastwood. Still not lethal. We take 0. What a strange standoff. Reckless Charge. Oh, Reckless Charge. That has to matter, right? Are we one short still? Because we can't tap. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we will pass the turn. If we had one... This desert is killing us. If this could tap for green mana, we would have won this game a million times over, but it just can't tap for green mana. But it passes. Well, we're getting enough cards in hand to not get wrecked. Oh, Cacophony Scamp, that's actually kind of big. Play the Scamp. That's big because we can actually sacrifice it. Now we'll get in with the Fireblade Charger. Time to go aggro. Drops to 8. All right, pass the turn. Passing. Ragavan. Can we play around removal? Dash Ragavan. Audacity Ragavan. Audacity Ragavan. Go attacking. It took us drawing the stupid monkey, but we got there. Yes, we would like to sack this. No, we would not proliferate. Yes, we will hit you for 1. Sometimes your turn 2 win deck wins on literally turn 17. I don't know when the last time I played a game of Modern that went to turn 17 was, but we are literally, like, it says it right there. We are actually on turn 17. Well, Veil of Summer seems pretty good against our opponent's deck. Also could use some Haywire Mites. Perhaps even some Saper Sanctuaries. Can we find room for all this stuff? So opponent's 8 rack. Our whole deck is going to be soft to Bowmasters. We can't really do much about that. So we maybe like trim a Reckless Charge. We can't cut the Thuds. That's our like big combo finish. Maybe we cut Ragavans? Some of them? Can we afford to bring this much in, I guess is the question. Maybe we can't? I guess we can cut Noble Hierarchs is the worst of the Hierarchs. And go like 2 Vines of Vastwood? Let's try something like that. Do we even want Haywire Mite? Is it even worth it? It gets rid of the rack pieces, which is nice. Yeah, let's go 2. We're gonna go full on Shaper Sanctuaries. Punish our opponent for targeting our creatures. Exactly how we drew it up. The turn 17, chip in with Ragavan win. See, I should not be allowed to play companion decks because I always forget about companions. I'm pretty sure there were turns there where we could have, oh, there were definitely turns there. People are going to be weeping and gnashing their teeth about us not putting that Abash into hand. We never got enough mana to cast it, but it would have been a card in hand, which is actually kind of relevant. I think we just Copperline Gorge go here. We have 2 Veil of Summers in hand. I don't think there's any reason to get got by like a Wrench Mind or something if we can avoid it. There's the Thud. Wow, we might actually be able to figure out a combo kill here. Let's just Colony Garden and pass. We're gonna play this conservatively. Veil of Summer should be insane against our opponent's deck. All right, there's a Bowmaster. You're gonna snipe the plant, sure. I mean, better that than some of our more important creatures. So what do we need? Mishra's Factory. So what do we need to actually win this game? More power. Another Veil of Summer. We'll play the Forest. Let's play a Ragavan. Pass the turn. Opponent gets to make a construct. Yep. I mean, opponent's kind of building a scary board here. They can get a rack, but a rack doesn't just beat us. We're definitely going to need to combo kill. Whether or not we can actually pull it off is not clear. Yeah, those are 3/3s. That's actually a... Oh, no, another Saga. All the Veil of Summers and they're not doing anything. Opponent combat. Yeah, that's bad. We draw. Take 0 from the rack. There's an Audacity. Well, okay. Fireblade Charger. Can we win next turn? So next turn we scale up Audacity. We really need to play the Audacity this turn, I think. We need to at least cycle these Veil of Summers. So the problem is if we Audacity now, we can't double Veil of Summer. I think we have to do it though. All right, let's Audacity the Fireblade Charger. I mean, we should be able to combo kill next turn if we untap with our stuff. Are these constructs going to beat us? That's the other question. Opponent has a swamp. Drawing all these Urza Sagas just kind of incentivize our opponent to not do anything. Opponent passes. We take 0. Scale up the Fireblade Charger. Oh, the problem is our opponent can just block their way through this, right? So they can Urza Saga to make a 4/4, and that just, yeah, we're just short. Opponent's taking 0 damage from their mana. Well, play the Hierarch. Go to combat, get in with the Charger. Well, let's see how they block. Opponent, yep, gonna block, or gonna construct, yep. Oh my goodness, wow. Oh, they blocked wrong. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, my goodness. They need to block with the army too. All right, Thud it at your face. I guess no one expects the Thud, but that is another 18. Our opponent didn't block in a way to kill it. They kept their army alive and we got the win. Wow. Yes. We thudded, we draw a card, which Bowmaster's triggers, but that doesn't really matter because our opponent's about to die, like right now on the spot. Sure, killer. I don't know if our opponent realizes. Do they realize how much damage this is? Because it's doubled. We get the Fireblade Charger damage and the Thud damage. So it's actually 18 into our opponent's face. 9 from the Charger, 9 more from the Thud. The turn 17 win into the turn 5 win. That was actually, we didn't even cast the Veil of Summers. This deck is weird. It is weird, but it's explosive. It's explosive. When it works, it's a lot of damage out of nowhere. Wow, the hilarious part is, so what I was afraid of there is if our opponent made a 4/4 and also blocked with the Orc army, they kill the Fireblade Charger and we don't get the Thud damage, which means we're gonna be short on actually having lethal damage. For some reason, our opponent valued keeping that Orc army and just chumped. I'm not sure. I guess is that giving them like lethal on the backswing? Maybe. I guess through us having 2 blockers, they could fire up the Foundry and like attack with everything. So it might have actually like made sense in a win the game next turn perspective, but it definitely cost our opponent the game. How quickly can this hand win? This seems like the dream. We have a Scamp. We have a Thud, we have a scale up. So if we play Scamp on turn 1, I mean, we got to go for it, right? I mean, this is the whole point of the deck, right? Play the Scamp, pass the turn. So in theory, we win the game next turn. In practice, I don't know if it'll happen, because if our opponent has any sort of interaction or removal, it falls apart. But if our opponent does not have a good turn 1 play, Flooded Strand, Breeding Pool untapped down to 17, Delighted Halfling, Vern Catacombs, Crack Vern Catacombs, a Stomping Grounds, untapped. We're going to wait one more turn. We're going to play the Noble Hierarch. No. Opponent has Solitude. All right, well, it was never going to work anyway. All right, free spells. Pretty good. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Now we're not very close to... Well, I guess it didn't matter what we did. If our opponent has Solitude white card, then all of our hopes and dreams are just not going to matter. Oh, we need like a tiny bit more damage. And we could potentially win with a Noble Hierarch. 6, 7. Yeah, we're like so close. Preordain. If we draw a Rancor effect, I think we can win with the Noble Hierarch. We need a Rancor and Audacity. Beseju, that is neither. So, play the land, and I guess we just pass. Yeah, that's not good. Land number 5, that's not what we wanted to see. Ren in 6. Oh god, there goes our Hierarch. All right, we need a Scamp. We need a Scamp. We need a Fireblade Charger, and we can win right away. Our opponent's at 16, right? Oh no, that's not enough. Ragavan. Well, we can dash a Ragavan. Do we hit our opponent or kill the Ren? I think we just hit our opponent. We need all the damage we can get. Steal a... nothing. Play an Oasis. Opponent's down to 14. Pick up the Ragavan. We're okay with our opponent cracking more fetch lands for now. The problem is if they find like an Omnath or something, that's very bad. Is this an Omnath or something? That's very bad. That life, One Ring, okay. Well, we're not winning this turn. That much is clear. Opponent gets back the fetch, draws with the One Ring, passes. We draw even more Ragavans. Well, we'll dash a Ragavan, go to combat, hit the Wren, down to 1, since we can't hit our opponent anyway. Play Beseiju, pass the turn. It's been an awkward draw. Too many monkeys. Although, our opponent's like, oh boy. If we could guarantee our opponent didn't have interaction, opponent's at 12, which is kind of the magic number. The problem is our opponent's got 7 cards in hand because of the One Ring. 12, though, like, Ragavan Scale Up Thud is actually just game. Odds of that actually working, probably slim to none. Picks up the One Ring. 7 cards in hand. All right, opponent passes. All of our stuff is sorcery speed, so it's super easy to get blown out. Another scale up. I mean, we got to go for it, right? So Ragavan. Scale up the Ragavan. Opponent kills it. Dash Ragavan. Scale up the Ragavan. Oh, really? All right. GG. GG. Okay. Well, we made it so close. We made it so close. Unfortunately, our opponent's deck is overloaded with interaction. We tried. I mean, at that point, don't yell at me about it early. Like, our opponent's got 2 planeswalkers. They got a One Ring in hand. We have literally nothing going on. There's no way we're gonna win from that position. I know we weren't like theoretically dead on the spot, but for all intents and purposes, we were very dead. Wow, that was close. That was close. Unfortunately, our opponent just had so much instant speed interaction. Makes it tricky. Makes it tricky to get through. I mean, we can bring the Veil of Summers, I guess. What are we cutting though is the question. Audacities? Let's try it like that. Bring in some more protection. Do we even keep this? I think we mulligan. Fireblade Charger to the bottom. So what we'd like to do here is Dirty Monkey, actually get an attack to make a treasure, and then Magus of the Moon on turn 2. You gotta be creative to turn 2 Blood Moon in 2023. Not as easy as it used to be. Well, let's see if we can get in the monkey hit. Opponent Steam Vents. And Lightning Bolt. Alright, well, apparently that's not gonna happen. Now we will Cacophony Scamp and Colony Garden. Unfortunately, we're also on the Magus of the Moon plan, which means Solitude can still kill it. Yeah, this matchup, our opponent just has so much interaction. Misty Rainforest. Please don't get a basic. Preordained. Well, I wish we had 1 more mana to protect the Magus of the Moon, but Magus of the Moon should be decent if we could protect it, it would be great, but oh wow. Score 1 for us. Our opponent decides they need to, maybe that means they have 2 Solitudes. Opponent decides they need to Solitude the Scamp. I guess they are afraid of our mighty Thuds. Well, we will just play Magus of the Moon and hope our opponent does not have another Solitude plus white card. I mean, as it is, our opponent's got a pretty mountainous mana base. If we get to untap and protect it with Vines, like, we should be good. Hopefully there's not another Boulder of Solitude. Seriously, Magic Gods. Are you being serious? All right, opponent. Another Solitude, another white card. We're at in 6 for infinite card advantage. All right, gets back the Misty. I mean, I guess that's the power of playing a One Ring deck, is you can pitch your hand pretty freely, because what's the worst that's gonna happen? Well, I mean, we have to kill this Wren, and we're in very bad shape no matter what. I mean, so I guess we need to draw another Blood Moon, essentially. I think it might just be that we're never gonna beat this hand. Like, if our opponent's hand their starting hand is Lightning Bolt, 2 Solitudes, 2 Leyline Bindings, it might just be that it is literally impossible for us to win the game. Opponent cracks the Misty, down to 16. We're hitting for the big 1 a turn. I guess we can get Abash next turn. Opponent starting to fetch out basics. Yeah, second Solitude was brutal. Delighted Halfling to ramp into the One Ring. And wow, what a hand. I mean, I guess there's an upside to just playing all the most powerful cards in a format, which is that you're going to draw powerful cards. Well, we will grab our Abash. Our deck is literally all 1-drops. Every card in our deck is a 1-drop, minus, I guess, the Abash, but that doesn't really count. We got him down to 1 card in hand. A little deceptive, because I'm sure the One Ring will be coming right around the corner. Karn the Great Creator. Pretty strong card. Breeding Pool tapped. Gonna tick down to grab a One Ring. I mean, I think we're pretty dead. That's just the hand. That's a One Ring. That's just the hand that we can never beat, unfortunately. Ignoble Hierarch. Well, boom. Abash. Can you beat it? Karn and Ren and Delighted Halfling and One Ring and Double Solitude and Lightning Bolt. Can you beat it, our mighty Abash? The first game was a little disappointing just because we actually had the full-on combo kill. It just didn't matter because everyone had so much interaction. I mean, I think once Abash dies, we pretty much just can see there's, like, they have the One Ring, so they get back in the game. Is this also Teferi? Oh, the power of the wallet. Opponent bounces the Abash. Tutors with Karn. Chalice of the Void. Wow, that actually just hard locks our deck. All right, opponent had a bit of interaction that game. I mean, we're going to keep this. Please don't Bowmasters us. Dusty Mike. All right. That's what I get for going away to Vegas for a week. What do we lead on? Well, Vern Catacombs, crack Vern Catacombs. I mean, on the play, we probably just got to play Ragavan, right? I think the other option is what? Play a Hierarch and then try to play two things? Yeah, let's just play Ragavan. Like, getting in a hit with this Ragavan is super high upside. Plus, we only have one land. We'll see. Drawing a second land would be nice. What's our opponent up to? Bloodstained Maya. Well, odds of Ragavan living decreasing. Opponent passes. Land, maybe? We got, what, 15 more? 15 more in the deck. Odds not great, but could happen. Watch it be Colony Garden. My god, not the Colony Garden. Opponent's got the upkeep stop set. Audacity. Well, go to combat. Swing with Ragavan. Don't get bolted or pushed. No cracking. Oh, there's the cracking. Okay. Untap down to 17. And Lightning Bolt. Well, in that case, play another Ragavan. Would have been better to hit a land, but opponent. Opponent taking damage off their mana base is good. That I do like. If they play a Ledger Shredder, that would be sweet. Because then we can Audacity to the Ragavan, attack, get a treasure. Even if they kill it, we get to draw a card. Wow, opponent's really thinking if they want to put this untapped. So the nice thing about our deck, ooh, they play it tapped. Okay, does this mean we get in a Ragavan hit? Or do you have more bolts or unholy heats? Ooh, we get in a Ragavan hit. I think we get in a Ragavan hit. Can we draw land? It's the Colony Garden. It is the Colony Garden. Ignoble Hierarch. 3. Hit our opponent to 13. Get a treasure. Steal an Archon. Play a Colony Garden. Cash in the treasure for a Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Wooded Foothills. Opponent cracks it down to 12. Ren to kill a Hierarch. Okay. Oh, though we're down to 1 red mana again. Opponent passes. So we might get Archon next turn. How do we survive the Archon? Well, I think step 1 is go to combat, attack with the Ragavan at our opponent. Hope there's, oh, yet another bolt. So many bolts. Oh, that's not great. Well, we will play a Fireblade Charger, Audacity the Fireblade Charger, and pass the turn. Unfortunately, our opponent can Ren it. I feel like this mana base could be a little better. We've had multiple games where we have trouble finding enough red mana. I'm not sure about all the, Colony Gardens, deserts. Maybe we need a few more fetch lands to make sure we have double red. Because we really want to be able to, play a red 1-drop and Thud in the same turn. And having 2 red sources has been a consistent issue. Opponent going to kill the Charger. Well, we're going to hit our opponent's face. We get to draw a card. Well, there's a red source. Opponent goes to 7. But they get an Archon. Once they get an Archon, I think we die. Opponent gets an Archon. The life gain's the biggest issue. So we need to draw. Is there anything we can draw here? Scamp. There is a downside to playing all 1 toughness creatures, we're realizing. All the 1 toughness creatures, they get got by Ren, and they get got by Ren. They get got by Bowmasters. It's been a regular issue for our deck. I mean, I guess we can try a Blood Moon. Yeah, let's run it like that. Bring in a bit of protection. I want to see the turn. I want to see the turn 3 kill. I want to see the nuts. Actually, we could kill on turn 2, right? If you play turn 1 Fireblade Charger, turn 2, or you could kill on turn 2. Turn 1 Scamp. Turn 2, scale up the Scamp. Attack for 6. Yeah, I guess that's still just 18, right? 6, 6, and 6. You would need the opponent to crack a fetch or something. we're gonna keep this because we can potentially play a turn 2 Blood Moon. Those are our hopes and dreams. Classic turn 2 Blood Moon game. The Blood Moon should at least buy us some time. We'll see if it works the way we want it to. If our Hierarch dies before it makes mana, we're very sad. Forest. And the ignoblest of Hierarchs. Go. Scalding Tarn. Passes. Well, alright. Oasis. And run out a Blood Moon. Are we getting a basic? Alright, so this at least slows our opponent down a bunch, right? They can still do their thing eventually, but this is going to make it slower and harder. We have Scamp and Thud. We need some pumpage. Passes. So we have 2 red and a green. The question is, do we dash Ragavan? Probably. Yeah, let's dash Ragavan. Go to combat. Attack you. See if they have an answer. They do. Well, we'll play a Scamp and pass the turn. Ragavan not returning to hand. All right, what does our opponent have? Passes. Well, we'll play a Hierarch and play a Hierarch and go to combat. Attack with the Scamp. Oh, opponent. Why are you so good at drawing Lightning Bolt? Double Bolt. Well, okay, play the Scamp. Pass the turn. Blood Moon does not stop Lightning Bolt, unfortunately. Passes. Attack with the Scamp. Could really use a pump spell one of these days. Takes 4. We will not sacrifice. We're like a pump spell away pretty much. Pass the turn. Scale up. Oh, we gotta go for it, right? We gotta go for it. There's no not going for it. They didn't have the answer last turn. Is there any argument for scaling up something other than the Scamp? No, not really. Actually, we could scale up a Hierarch, right? And it's still lethal. So we scale up a Hierarch, we attack, and then we can Thud the Hierarch? I think that's better. All right, let's scale up the Hierarch. Opponent takes it down to 5. Thud you, sack the Hierarch? Oh, okay, our Blood Moon came through. Our blood through double Lightning Bolt. I mean, the deck can definitely win some games. It can definitely win some games. That's for sure. It is hilariously explosive. Maybe we need the last Blood Moon. It is a Magus of the Moon, so it dies to everything. But Blood Moon is really good against our opponent's deck. I mean, that is the explosive power of the deck. It can pour on the damage. It is all 1 toughness creatures, though, which is a little scary. Just a bit. All right, opponents on the play. We reveal an Abash. Please live, Ragavan. Please live. We actually would love to just draw another creature. That would be even better. No Blood Moon this game, so our opponent's shenanigans are currently online. Opponent, Wooded Foothills, and passes. We draw Oasis. Do we even play the Ragavan? Do we wait until... We gotta run it out, right? I think we have to. I don't think we can play this deck conservatively because we know our opponent's going to be doing their thing. So I think we have to run out the Ragavan, hope it lives. If it doesn't live, we have to hope really hard that we at least draw another creature. Opponent gets a tap land. Please not Wrenn and 6. Please not Wrenn and 6. Ugh, Prismatic Ending. All right, now we have 0 creatures, which is awkward. Well, Stomping Grounds tapped. Oh, we are giving our opponent a lot of time. A lot of time. Blood Crypt. You know what a sweet draw would be? How about a Blood Moon off the top? That would make me happy. Or a Hierarch. Play the Forest, play the Hierarch, pass the turn. Oh, we have so many combo pieces in hand. If this is land creativity, though, we get so wrecked. How about a Scamp or something? Magus of the Moon. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Play the Magus of the Moon. Pass the turn. I guess we get in for 1. Yeah, get in for 1. Pumping Vines to protect Magus of the Moon isn't going to do anything anyway, so... Alright, pass the turn. Wow, opponent did not have the bolt. Passing. We draw Verdant Catacombs. Play the Catacombs. Can we go for the win here? So this is 2 power. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Reckless charge the Magus of the Moon. I feel like if our opponent had the bolt, they would have cast it, right? So it goes up to 5 power. Audacity it to 7 power. 8 power. I mean, we do want it to be all the way lethal. Actually, I guess the simplest way to do it is just flash back the Reckless charge. Flash it back. Attack with the Magus of the Moon. Opponent's gonna bolt. Wow, they did find a bolt. Well, we will Vines of the Vastwood. Exalted. And then, I mean, we gotta go for it. We gotta go for it. Sack the Magus of the Moon. Oh, we did it! Oh my goodness, it worked. I was very afraid that once we sacked the Magus to the Moon, we'd turn on their blue mana and they'd counter, but best Blood Moon ever. Well, yeah, sometimes your Magus to the Moon 18s on turn 5. Can we keep this? We don't have any red mana. I wish the Scamp would be so good if we can get it down. We're on the play, so we have Noble Hierarch into, I guess, Hierarch beatdowns? We're gonna keep this and hope we just draw red source. Very awkward. We have 2 basic forests, and then we have 8 Hierarchs, but the noblest of Hierarchs only makes green. It doesn't make red. Well, let's see what our opponent's doing. Sacred Foundry tapped, okay. And passes. Oh boy. If we only had red mana nut draw, how greedy is it to just Audacity? You know what, let's just play another Hierarch and pass. Please don't Fury us. Please don't Fury, we're not gonna attack. We could attack for 2, but I wanna leave up the vines here, I think. If our opponent can Fury and blow up both Hierarchs, we're in really sad shape. Plains for our opponent, and Spirited Companion, okay. Can we draw 8 red source, please? Opponent passes. Audacity, well, we will Audacity a Hierarch. Boom, get in there. Noble Hierarch aggro, get in for 4. I mean, the Audacity will cycle. So I guess the other possibility is we can just like chip in for enough damage that we can like scamp, pump, sack, win right away without attacking. That's, I think, what we would like to do here. Solitude. Going after the Hierarch. Draw a card. Ragavan. Wow, it died. Okay, I was expecting them to blink it. Well, now we're going to have to Vines, because we do need this Hierarch. We still didn't draw red mana. Yeah, alright, save it. Down to 21. This Solitude gaining life would be a problem too. Red mana. Pendelhaven. That's not red mana. Audacity the Hierarch. Rancor the Hierarch. And here comes the mightiest Noble Hierarch of all time. Get in for 5. Opponent down to 11. Gonna go attacking. Hits us. Yeah, opponent gaining back life is awkward. Down to 17. And Restoration Angel to blink the Solitude. Solitude. Alright, well, we get back the Rancor. We get to draw a card. It's another Rancor. I don't know if the lesson here is we should have mulliganed, or if the lesson here is we're getting unlucky to only draw green sources. Avalanche Riders. We might just be dead. Yeah, there's no way we're going to be able to win from here. Okay. I actually think this should kind of be a good matchup. So we saw the Solitudes. The Solitudes are an issue. I guess maybe we bring in Shaper Sanctuaries. Go down like a Reckless Charge and Audacity. And 1 Noble Hierarch since it betrayed us last game, run it like that. All right, so I guess we need red mana. Although really, if you look at our mana base, I guess it's tilted towards green because there's like a Dryad Arbor, a Boseiju, 2 forests, the desert, and a Colony Garden, and a Pendelhaven. So I guess there is a lot of mono green sources. We're not doing it again. We're not going to keep the all green mana hand. Oh, God. Well, this hand's not good. Do we just go to 5? We might just go to 5. I mean, we have Scale Up Rancor, but all we have is a Noble Hierarch, and we got a million lands. Yeah, we're going to go to 5. Fireblade Charger to the bottom. Thud to the bottom. Go Ragavan, I guess. Please don't Solitude us. Verdant Catacombs. Crack. Getting in a Ragavan hit would be absolutely massive, because it would give us a treasure. Go. We have the Thud and the Charger. We need more power and more mana. Passes. Well, go to combat. Attack with a Ragavan. Wow, we actually get in the hit. Okay. Steal a land. Well, play Fireblade Charger. And pass the turn. Oh, Solitude is still such an issue. We got no protection at the moment. Sacred Foundry tapped. Opponent. Marsh Flats. Cracks it. Wall of Omens, okay. Passes. We draw a forest. So if we double Audacity, we can put our opponent to 1, but we can't quite win. Well, that's Audacity, Fireblade Charger. Audacity, Fireblade Charger. Go to combat, attack with both. Opponent's gonna block the Ragavan. I mean, we gotta do it, right? We gotta do it. We're 1 short, but we gotta do it. Sack it, draw 2, put you to 1. But can we find a way to get in 1 more point of damage? Colony Garden, draw a card. Oh, we can't Colony Garden. All right, pass the turn. In theory, we can just Thud the Ragavan for the last point of damage. Opponent can't crack that Windswept Teeth. Cannot crack it. Opponent passes. Shaper Sanctuary. Well, Thud the Ragathon? Okay. That's the power of mulliganing for red mana. We learned we need to mulligan for the red manas and the Thuds. My first impulse with this deck was to try to make it a budget deck, which I think you could build a budget version of it. Reckless Charge, 2 scale ups, no payoffs. I think we mulligan. I think we gotta treat it like a combo deck, essentially. Well, this will keep. Vines of the Vastwood to the bottom and see what happens. Found it, Sacred Foundry tapped. Passes. Well, Verdant Catacombs. Crack Verdant Catacombs. Grab a Snapping Grounds, untapped, and the Noblest of Hierarchs. So Vines offers some protection. Plains for our opponent. Wall of Omens. Opponent passes. Well, let's play Beseiju. Actually, no. Verdant Catacombs. Crack Verdant Catacombs. I think we just run out both creatures here. Grab another Stomping Grounds for the red manas. Play a Ragavan. Play a Scamp. Pass the turn. So what do we need? We need to dodge Solitude, that's for sure. Opponent, Arid Mesa. Oh boy. Okay, here they go. Solitude, going after our Hierarch. Oh god. I mean, this mostly means we're dead, right? Because I get 3 Solitudes? Oh, yep. Pretty powerful. Opponent cracks the Arid Mesa. Sacred Foundry untapped. These free elementals, my god. Well, we lose our mana. Opponent gets to blink Solitude again. Actually, wait, what happened to the... Oh, on their turn, okay. Let's play Beseiju. Play Audacity on Ragavan. Go to combat, do some attacking. Opponent, gonna block. I think we just kick the Vines here. Kick the Vines, kill your stuff, get in a little damage. Steal a Plains. Well, pass the turn. Oh, they do get to do the Solitude thing. So opponent's down to 14. We draw from Audacity. We do have a Fireblade Charger. So we're going to need, like, Scale Up Thud, I guess. Yeah, Ragavan down. We draw a card. Well, we're drawing all the red mana this game. Gonna pass. Thud. The life gain from the Solitude is an issue. Like, that's going to get our opponent out of the danger zone here. I guess we need to take the Abash. 1, 2, 3. Let's snag Abash. I guess we should have snagged it last turn, technically. Play the Hierarch. I should not be allowed to play companion decks. I hate companions, and every time I play a deck that has a companion, I just forget about the companion. I'm sure people are getting so angry in the comments. Spout it. Gets in with the Hierarch. 6 cards in hand is a lot. Down to 13. Opponent passes. Stomping Grounds. Yeah, we're not gonna attack. It's only 1 anyway. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4. Play Abash. We have successfully companioned. Played the tap. We've drawn a lot of lands this game. Play the tap land, pass the turn. Nah. I knew there was a reason we never get our companion, because it's just gonna get ephemerated anyway. We have a lot of protection in our deck, we just haven't drawn it. Opponent's back up to 20. Our board has been successfully Wrath. We have somehow drawn more lands than the control deck, which is also not optimal. And our opponent's gaining so much life that we can't realistically combo kill them. Well, let's dash a Ragavan. Opponent, you better not ephemerate that Solitude. Blocks with the Solitude, okay. I thought this might be a good matchup, but I have changed my mind. Our opponent is, boy, we need them to not draw Solitudes. Opponent, gonna get in and gain some life. Is there any realistic way of us winning this game now? We draw a Rancor. The problem is our opponent's at 26. How do we possibly kill our opponent from 26? Our combo is good at dealing like 14, 16, 18, maybe 20. But our opponent has so much life now that I don't know if we can thud our way through this, especially with no cards in hand. Also, somehow our opponent has drawn exactly 3 lands and just pure gas. We're a 17 land deck and we've drawn way more lands in our opponent's deck, which is kind of like a ramp deck. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. We will block. We got to get rid of this somehow. Block with the Fireblade Charger. You know they have the Surge of Salvation. They have 8 cards in hand and they're not doing anything. What else is in their hand? It's got to be Ephemerates and Surge of Salvations. All right, we killed a Solitude. Skyclave Apparition. Okay. Nothing to target. Well, there's a Shaper Sanctuary finally. So play Shaper Sanctuary. Play Fireblade Charger. Play a Rancor. Pass the turn. So now at least if our opponent targets our stuff, we get to draw a card, which is something. Opponent's still at 32, which is bad news. Draws their land, gets in, we drop to 8. I'm not sure there's enough scale ups in the world to for us to deal 32. Oh goodness, even more lands. That is a lot of lands. All right, do we even attack? Yeah, I mean, Restoration Angel. Yeah, I guess we pass. This is not good. This is not good. Opponent's got 7 cards in hand. Yeah, Solitude Ephemerate, it's brutal. Brutal. There's the Restoration Angel. Gonna blink this Skyclave Apparition. I will say, I did remember to play the Abash this game, so you gotta at least give me some credit for that. All right, Resto, blinks the Skyclave, Sacred Foundry untapped, all the way down to 30. Kiki Jiki. All right, that's infinite. Well, no thudding that game. Wow. Game 2 was sweet though. Reveal Abash, which I'm sure we will forget about and get yelled at. Chingatha A. Well, I mean, we're going to keep this. We're on the draw. No hierarchs, but this hand, I mean, we got a Ragavan, we got a Fireblade Charger. We can haste up one of the crew. Down in Flames isn't a destination, it's a journey. What would Ragavan's flavor text be? There's no Ragavan flavor text, right? Wizard should hire me to write flavor text. It would just be like, stupid monkey. That would be it. 2 words, that's all you need to get across the joy of Ragavan. Since we have a dirty Ragavan in hand, I think we just play it, right? Verdant Catacombs crack it. Like, maybe it goes horribly wrong. If it eats a removal spell, then hopefully Fireblade Charger lives and we can load up some enchantments on it. Go. Cracks or Windswept Youth. Are you killing it? Opponent Reno. No. Are you Burn? Oh god, how do we win against Burn? That just means our opponent has infinite ways to kill our creatures. Jhingatha, though. Jhingatha isn't usually in Burn. That means you can't play Eidolon, so it can't be Burn. Oh, Tarmogoyf. Okay. Sure, Goyf it up. We draw Vines of the Vastwood. Well, we'll play Beseju. We'll play a Fireblade Charger. Should we just leave up with Vines? I really want to get down on Audacity. Let's get down on Audacity. The problem with it dying is we just don't have another creature at the moment. Wild Nacatl, 1 card in hand. What's the last card? Gets in with a Goyf. Sure. Down to 14. A land. The problem is we don't have a way to sack this. We can deal a lot of damage, but we can't sack it. Oh, Verdant Catacombs. Crack Verdant Catacombs. Forest. Kick of Vines of the Vastwood. I think our hope is just to win over the course of 2 turns, essentially. About it untaps. Come on, no killing us. No killing us. Late Line Binding. Going after the Charger. Well, Vines of the Vastwood. Save it. Wow. Do we have to kill the Nacatl? I think we have to kill the Nacatl. Or we just die too quickly. Wow, we draw a Thud. Oh, we're so close. We need a creature. Opponent gets and hits us. Can we draw like any creature? Down to 9. Come on, deck. Come on, creature. Play the Hierarch. We're 1 short. Do we just go for it? I mean, we don't have protection anyway, right? Yeah, I mean, Reckless Charge. Rancor. It should have won. Territorial Kavu. That's fine, we got him. Did we punt there? Well, no. I was thinking if we just rankered and then thudded, but that would have also been the same thing, right? Except we wouldn't have a Hierarch. Thud? You? Just the way we drew it up. Let's make sure we click the right target. Sack the Hierarch. Get back the Rancor. And make you die? Yes! It's working! It's working! Well, Blood Moon's in. Seems good. I mean, really, we just got a combo kill, though, right? That's pretty much it. Our opponent's going to have very big creatures very early in the game. Our way of winning is going to be to Blood Moon them into oblivion. Is there even any point in bringing in Shaper Sanctuary? Like, we saw the bolts, we saw the lane line binding. What I'm worried about is our opponent can just, like, play big creatures and kill us, and we can't really do anything about that. What else can we cut? Oh, man, we might actually get a treasure chest out of this deck. Somehow, some way, we might thud our way to a 3-2. Do we want Shaper Sanctuary? Or do we just need to, like, maintain our combo velocity, keep as many combo pieces as possible? I mean, we definitely want the Blood Moons, because Blood Moons can just get our opponent here if we get them down. Haywire Might can answer what? Leyline Binding? You know what? We're gonna run it like that. Bring in the Blood Moons, run it like that. 61 card special. Well, okay, lands are not an issue. Everything else is, though. Well, I mean, we're going to keep this. Well, I think we put a Ragavan to the bottom. All right, well, we'll see. Opponent, tap land, and passes. Green mana, fetch land, please. That's green mana, that works. Well, Den of the Bugbear, and Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. Sounds like a Thud away from being really sweet. Overgrown Tomb tapped. Chain to, wow, they have a lot of enchantments. Chain to the Rocks, sure. Copperline George, well, we'll play a Ignoble Hierarch and a Scamp. Pass the turn. Huh, maybe it is worth bringing in Haywire Mites if they also have Chain to the Rocks. Ragavan passes. So we can't win this turn, right? If we take in, we could hit our opponent for 16. So I think we play Pendelhaven. Are we okay with trading with Ragavan here? I think we actually just pump, hit you for 3. We will not sack. And then we'll just play a second Scamp and pass the turn. Oh, a Thud would be so good. A Thud would potentially just be game winning here. And yes, I remember Abash. I do remember. Leyline Binding. Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to block. Please not. Our Thud. Anything but Thud. Hits a Ignoble Hierarch. Passes. We draw. I mean, we gotta go. We gotta go for it, right? There's no not going for it here. Play the land. Wait, are we short on damage? Maybe we're short on damage. Yeah, because they can block with the Hierarch. How do we want to do this? We pump a Pendelhaven, that's 2. This makes it 7, this makes it 8. But then our opponent just blocks with the Hierarch. So do we just wait? Opponent has 3 cards in hand. I'm not miscounting, right? So 6 power, 7 power, 8 power. Opponent blocks. Yeah, not quite lethal. Super close, but not quite. Take Abash. Get in with the Scamp. Ooh, okay. In that case, I guess we kill the Ragavan. All right. Well, it wouldn't have worked anyway because they had a Lightning Bolt, but we got rid of the Ragavan. We have the Abash in hand. Opponent. More Ragavans. Yeah, well, opponent's gonna get in another hit, unfortunately. We take our beats. Opponent steals. Another Ignoble Hierarch. They play the Ignoble Hierarch. Well, I guess the question is going to be, how much removal does our opponent have? The answer so far has been a ton. All right, opponent passes. We draw. Burn Catacombs. Well, crack the Catacombs. Forest. Play Abash. We're kind of losing to the monkey here, honestly. All right, we're just going to pass. If our stuff lives, we should be able to win next turn. Opponent, Flooded Strand. Gets Jengatha, okay. As long as there's not a Chain to the Rocks or Wellspring, Ragavan. I mean, we gotta go for it. We gotta go for it. The only thing that would make it better is if we managed to draw like a Vines, just to have some protection, but I think we just gotta go for it. Like, scale up the Hierarch. Thud it. Oh, that's still not enough, is it? Another scale up. So we scale up the Hierarch. We attack with both. Our opponent blocks. Yeah, we can Thud for like 14, but that's not actually lethal. We also have this Den of the Bugbear. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. One is a Jengatha. Scale up the Hierarch. Go to combat. Do some attacking. Opponent blocks. Yeah, not lethal. We'll pass the turn. Opponent cracks down to 16. Sacred Foundry tapped. So I do get to get in another Ragavan hit, should they choose. All right, they get in with the Ragavan. Just a land. All right, we didn't really want the land anyway. Kavu. Ragavan. Legend rules. Opponent pat. Can we draw a pump spell? No. Catacombs. So this deals double damage, right? Wow, we are so close and yet so far. So if we do the same thing, we scale up this. We're like just a point away. Scale up this attack. It's going to be 7 power. Still not lethal. Scale up this attack with both. Our opponent's going to block here, block here. We could fire up the Den of the Bugbear and attack. I don't know if that makes things better, though. Scale up the hierarch again. The question is, do we attack with both or just one? Man, we are a point of damage away. So if we attack with one, our opponent's definitely going to block with the Ragavan, but our Abash lives. If we attack with both, we could sneak through some damage, but they might block, and then we lose our Abash. Get in with the hierarch. We're going to leave back the Abash. Going to block with Ragavan. Do we Thud our opponent to 2? Probably, right? Thud. Like, if we could have turned on the Pendulum, there's so many things. There's so many things that just let us win. So now our plan is, we have Abash, we have Den of the Bugbear, we can get a Dryad Arbor. So we're basically hoping we can piece together lethal with what we have. Opponent gets in, loots. We are not going to block. We're going to drop to 7. We know they have a Jagatha in hand. What are the rest of the cards? 1 is a Windswept Heath. Opponent cracks it down to 1. That's actually big because it makes the Dryad Arbor lethal. I think we got there. They're going to play Jagatha. Dryad Arbor. The sneaky Dryad Arbor. Sure. Crack the Catacombs. Sneaky Dryad Arbor. Can we draw a Thud for fun? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to the Bugbear. Fire that up. We got there. My goodness. All right. We thudded him. It actually worked. All right, so we finished with a 3-2. I kind of like this deck. This deck is really fun. I don't know how good it is. It's unique, though. It's unique. It's got a million 1-drops. I imagine, we're going to open the treasure chest in just a minute. I imagine you can make this a budget deck pretty easily. So if you look at this deck list, the expensive part is the mana base, but I'm pretty sure, like, if let's do this real quick. Let's make a budget version real quick. If you're bored, then I'm sorry. We'll skip to you can skip forward to the treasure chest opening. But like, I'm pretty sure, hang on, let's do this real quick. Because most of the cards in this deck are not that expensive. So if we go here, go to lands. So we need to budgetize the mana base, but I think we can do that without it being too big of a loss. Because Copperline Gorge is pretty cheap now. So Copperline Gorge is pretty cheap. Carpusan Forest is pretty cheap. I believe. It is cheap, right? It's gotta be. Because it's in standard. How much is Carpusan Forest? Oh, it's like $1. Okay, yeah. All right, so I think this works. But why are we missing so many lands? Oh, I see we have forest in there. But I think we can make a pretty functional mana base that's budget friendly and is still going to have all of our lands come into play on tap. So you play the forest, you play the Copperline Gorges. The question is, what's the next best land? The first 2 are pretty obvious. The third dual land, I guess we should set this on modern. The third dual land, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. I guess we could just play basics, although I'd really love one more dual land. I really don't want to play Game Trail. I just can't bring myself to play the Snarls. They're just so snarly. How much is the Pathway? The Pathway would work, as much as I complain about them. From a budget perspective, if it's cheap enough, Crate Count Pathway is like under $4. I think because it comes into play on tap, that's better than playing like a Rootbound Craig or something. So we can make the mana base like that. And then I guess just play basics for the rest. So we are going to lose a bit of consistency. There's no doubt about it. Like, our mana base is going to be a little bit weaker. But remember, we're trying to make a budget deck, so that's just the cost of being a budget deck. So something like this. So that would be our mana base. We could still play a couple non-basic lands here if we wanted to. And then obviously we have to cut Ragavan. What we cut Ragavan for is probably the trickiest question. There's obviously not a 1-for-1 replacement. We're not going to have another Ragavan because it just doesn't exist. We need our thing to be a 1-drop. We would love another, like, something that deals damage when it dies, but I think we already have all of them in our deck. So what is the next best 1-drop that's budget friendly? Like, Bombat Courier would be okay. Haywire Might is fine. The landfall stuff gets a lot worse now that we're not playing any fetch lands, so they get worse. Like, Dragon Rage Channeler would be fine. There's plenty of options. None of them are going to be Ragavan good, but I think they're all like reasonable enough that we can replace Ragavan and our deck's still going to be fine. When deals combat damage, sack it 3 damage. I wish we... the thing that would make this deck even better is if we had another like Fireblade Charger or Scamp effect. But I don't think that exists. Like even Goblin Guide would be fine. Just like we could play... Pick a 1-drop. Pick a 1-drop that like kind of works with the theme of the deck, and I think we'd be fine. Is there anything? Let's just double check. I'm pretty sure there's not another thing that is a 1-drop that deals damage equal to its power. Deals damage equal to its power to target creature. When it dies, deal damage equal to its power to any target, but that's 3-drop. I don't know if we actually want a 3-drop. That seems so slow. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we're at the like pick a random 1-drop stage, which I don't know what's the best one. It needs to be cheap. It needs to be free for budget purposes. Beyond that, like giving haste would be fine, having haste would be fine, like a Swift Spear would be fine. Maybe a Swift Spear is actually the right option, honestly. Like cuz that grows itself. So that might actually give that. It's probably just Swift Spear, isn't it? So like if we play the Swift Spear over the Ragavan, it also actually has the upside of having an extra toughness. Every creature in our deck dies to Bowmasters and Wrenn and 6, so there's actually some upside to playing a Monastery Swift Spear. And then otherwise, like, hang on, let me throw this into Goldfish and see how close we are to being budget friendly. I think we'll probably have to cut a little bit more. Hey, look at how clean this desktop is. Only half full. That's a record for me. I mean, we're probably gonna have to cut a little bit from the sideboard, but I think, all this to say, I think this can be a budget deck pretty easily. So let's take a look at where we're at with our budget build. Even just those changes, it's down to $155, which, considering the price of Modern at the moment, where decks are pretty expensive, $1,200, $1,600, like $150, already not bad. If we want to go even cheaper, I guess like in the main deck, Noble Hierarch is kind of necessary, although it is the worst of the hierarchs. I could see cutting like 2 of them perhaps. And then in the sideboard, Veil of Summer is kind of costly, Magus of the Moon. But all that to say, that gives you a pretty good idea of what a budget version could look like. It's basically drop Ragavan, make a budget mana base, and the deck's gonna be pretty cheap to put together. But anyway, we got a treasure chest open. Enough rambling about how to make this a budget deck. Let's crack our 1 treasure chest. We thudded our way into a single treasure chest. All right, here we go. Treasure chest 1 of 1. Let's crack it open. We get, not legendary, Glint Eye Nephilim. I do kind of wish the Nephilim were legendary. Glint Eye is pretty sweet. Can do some cool Voltron-y things. Rampaging Raptor and some Playblades. Well, not the most exciting treasure chest, but the deck was pretty sweet. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about that in the wrap up. Be right back. So what do we learn this week about Thud in Modern? And overall, we played a Modern League. We went 3-2, also played one 1v1 match that isn't in the video and won that, not that that really matters. So overall, the record of the deck was a lot better than I expected. So this deck is very, very strange. It gets some really explosive kills, which we saw in our video. So it actually like has a lot of power. On the other hand, it's very risky because every single creature in our deck, outside of Abash, I guess, which we don't play that often, in part because I forget about it being there, and in part because it costs 5 mana and we only got 17 lands. But every single creature in our deck dies to Orcish Bowmasters and Wrenn and 6. So we have some games where we just kind of get removal out of the game and don't do anything. We also have some games where we just kill our opponent by surprise on like turn 3 with this super janky scale up Cacophony Scamp Thud plan, which is kind of hilarious. The other thing about this deck that I really like is it would be pretty easy to turn it into a budget deck without losing too much power. Ragavan can go, like, it's good, but whatever. You can play Goblin Guide, or I think Monastery Swift Spear might actually be the best 1-drop in that slot if you're going to go budget friendly. And then the mana base was already my least favorite part of the deck, so I don't think turning the mana base into a budget mana base would actually hurt that much. You can just play more of the fast lands, play a pain land. It should be perfectly fine, because the one thing we actually struggled with the deck in a couple of games was just having enough red mana. So I don't really like the current mana base that much anyway, with only 4 fetch fetch lands. So we are already dealing with like inconsistent mana, and we're playing a non-budget mana base. So I don't see how a budget mana base could actually be worse. So if you want to, we talked about it a little bit during the video, but with just a few changes, it's pretty easy to get this down 150 bucks, even under 100 bucks, and you'll still have all those explosive kills. And I don't think the deck will be like that much less consistent, in all honesty. So anyway, that is Thud for Modern. That's been our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.